3 wins away from 1,000. Don Nelson, former head coach, the Bucks, the Warriors, the Knicks, 5th year with the Mavericks, putting Dirk Nowitzki, Ed Nájera, and Juwan Howard out on the baseline with Michael Finley and Steve Nash in the backcourt. Southwest Airlines starting 5 for San Antonio Spurs, and Coach Greg Popovich with a 20-5 record. His squad rewriting the Spurs record book for the best record after the first 25 in franchise history. Bruce Bowen, David Robinson, Tim Duncan, a regular threesome down low, and the same twosome in the backcourt. Sensational rookie point guard Tony Parker, along with veteran Steve Smith. Right here at home with Don Baden, Tim Duncan, and Courtney Kirkland, the 3 officials. 7-3 on the road so far. Good recognition of the double. Tony Parker burns him, but that was good by Tim Duncan. Coming in with the longest winning streak right now in the NBA. It's 6 straight. David popped it away from Howard. Tim on the run with Tony Parker. How about it? Take it the distance, big guy. Spurs are at 4th. Dallas 102.3. Spurs 101.1. And Juwan Howard.
It's a high-scoring team. Finley can give it up and assist Juwan Howard.
They had the mismatch. Nájera came over from the weak side to help out. Smith blocked by Nájera. Nájera has done a phenomenal job. The young man that went to high school here at Cornerstone Christian Academy in San Antonio, a native of Chihuahua, Mexico. That's what Finley will do. He won't give you an opportunity to get on top of him. They missed there, or at least gave away their first 2 possessions. And Tim Duncan going by Juwan Howard, who went for the steal. Nice lob down low.
Yeah, great lob and poor defense by Howard that time. Can't gamble.
Steve Nash at a double-digit score career-wise coming into the season, but 18.8 so far. The Spurs give it away and take it away as well. Tony Parker the distance. Managed for Nowitzki, but Tim Duncan says, wait a minute, I'll join the fray. Juwan Howard didn't want to shoot that. You could tell. He looked like he was ready to pass it, but that was taken away. How about a lob to Bruce Bowen? Yes! Tony Parker with the assist. Spurs lead it by 5. Tim had it, couldn't get 2 hands up in time and lost it. Spurs turn it over for a second time. And Steve Nash has the first points off a turnover. 7.2 turnovers per game. That is the fewest in the league. Nice pass, Tim Duncan. Steve couldn't corral it. How about the difficult one? Nowitzki has it taken away by Danny Manning, who just checked in. Manning in early for Ed Nájera. So as well as the Spurs have played, they only lead by 3. And is it even now? Yes, it is. That's what he does well. And he's going to be on the, they say, on the line.
Is that they're playing well together. They've won their last 6, and it looks like their chemistry is really flowing.
David had it taken away, Nowitzki and Howard. David's got to get back into it. He's arguing behind the play. Finley wide open. 125 points.
They can score.
Tony Parker got away. Tim Duncan tried to take it away. Danny Manning blocked him out. Nowitzki in rhythm. He is deadly. 7-footer, 245-pounder, 4th year from Germany. Block. David going up top. Howard got away with one. And it's going to be a foul finally. A break for the Spurs.
Actually 3, and he's still able to get his shot up.
Numbers against Milwaukee. Usual solid numbers. As Tim Duncan is now up to 81% from the free throw line. Mismatch. Howard slow with the ball movement, but a nice pass to Danny Manning. He didn't want to give it up to Finley too early, and it paid off.
Right,
percentage. High percentage to Danny Manning. Difficult for Bruce Bowen. Howard saves it to the baseline. So the Spurs, a respectable 5 of 11. They're going to get back. You talked about it in the transition. Finley gets an easy one. Tim's got the position on Juwan Howard. They don't elect to double. Take it all day, Tim. He will. That's a tough break. Spurs can't get it. Tim Duncan, so far 2 of 4. As Dallas has given it away 5 times. Danny Manning, that funky quick release that he's made a career of. 15 and 5.5 on his career. This is his 14th season. Kansas, former Wooden Award winner. Won an NCAA title. And Greg Popovich made a call. And Steve Smith at better than 88% from the free throw line. Advantage after they went for the steal. Parker got away, couldn't get the roll, but Malik Rose off the bench draws the foul, goes to the line.
He was going to block it, and Malik Rose there to clean up the mess.
For 20 from the field because they have been almost perfect this year. How hot is Dallas? 83%, 10 of 12 with that run. And Nash makes it 8 straight for his chances right now. Down by only 6 the way that Dallas has been shooting. The Spurs have missed 9 straight. Danny Manning just got his 3rd foul. See ya. Over there with Tony.
I told them that they need to make crepes for that man.
January 6th. Guarantee you he knows the real French toast. Final 90 seconds. Spurs only down by 4. And Malik Rose read the route perfectly. Free safety Malik Rose on the move. The trailer. And Steve Smith setting up Malik Rose. But after the miss, Malik had a great look and didn't go with it. That 10-12 footer there on the baseline. Steve Smith does it again. Number 1 in the league in 3-pointers. 57.5% coming in. 1-point ball game. So the Spurs 31.5% for the field, 6 of 19. Prior to that, they had missed 10 straight. 11 of 14 for the Mavericks. If you're Dallas, you say, what am I doing? What's going on here? And Finley fills it up. Still, though, it's only a 3-point game. Out again with 8 separating the shot clock and the game clock. Duncan over Howard, using the window effectively. Tim partner, 10 and 2 with an assist. Final shot time. Will somebody touch it besides Hardaway? That was the story for him in Miami. I had a feeling nobody else would touch it. The Van Exel mode. Now Daniels, he'll beat the buzzer. Well, he'll throw it away. But the Spurs are only down by 4 despite Dallas hitting 13 of 16. Can't remember when I've seen any opponent in the dome shoot like that. Mavericks squad. Spurs, they'll lead the league in attempts per game as opposed to opponents. As Antonio Daniels took it away. Another turnover. The distance right by Wong Juju. Nájera almost caught. Finley in rhythm. That's what he does, just like Nowitzki.
2 or 3 feet off the ground on his jump shot.
Tim Duncan got away, draws contact, no call, loose ball. Juju's got it. Now Nowitzki against Antonio Daniels. The block is there. Charles Smith, Spider-Man got back. Spurs have the advantage. The lob. Malik Rose from Tim Duncan.
Lob to Malik Rose. How often do you see your power forward throwing lob passes to other players?
Nice up fake by Nowitzki. Gets it back. And Malik Rose thought he was on the ball. Instead, it's going to be Nowitzki going to the free throw line.
I can't think of another big man that's a passer like that.
The second assist of the game for Tim Duncan. Very impressive numbers for Dirk Nowitzki.
Have to match him because Dallas, with all those turnovers, still have a lead.
Tim Duncan drawing the contact for Wong Juju after he got away on the nice entry. Charles Smith set him up on the West Coast, though, so some that relate to the Spurs, the Portland-Sacramento match.
We talked about them early, and now there's 6 in the West. They've quietly snuck up on everybody.
So no longer do you send Tim Duncan to the free throw line thinking he's going to make 6 of every 10. Finley, is he feeling it?
How do you stop that?
Harry Porter peeling away. Rose on the run. Almost. Him locked up for a long time to come. They've got Nowitzki locked up for a long time to come. For the Mavericks to be a real pain in the neck for the Spurs. And what a battle it's going to be. The Spurs, the Mavericks, and the T-Wolves all in the Midwest Division. Takeaway, Charles Smith. He read it perfectly. See ya. And he couldn't get it home. Terry Porter shoved by into the stripe. Biggest difference with their opponents, 29. And what a good move. Malik Rose blocked by Wong Juju, who got him underneath. Malik's going to the line time. And Malik Rose trying to keep it perfect at the stripe for the Spurs. Had a couple of assists. And the Spurs 11 of 11 at the stripe, only down by 2. So 2 teams that can fill it up. Man, has Dallas ever scored a lot of points lately? They break the trap in the backcourt with the help of Nájera. That means Nowitzki's free for 3. And very quickly they capitalize once they break the trap.
Guys that aren't as talented, they use their work ethic to get them by. Well, Nájera is talented as well.
Charles Smith waiting patiently, and Terry Porter found him in the corner.
I talked to him after the Milwaukee game. He didn't have a particularly good shooting night, and I told him, you got to keep shooting the basketball.
Nájera, as they all went to Hardaway, it freed up Ed Nájera. Whose feet?
Oh yeah, a guy who goes to the lane like that, flying over everybody and dunk to the ball, has some kind of talent.
David grabbed on the way by. All the details about the next Road Warrior party. Spurs Coyote will be there. Folks, at the Spurs hit the road. How good has it been for the Spurs at the line? that good. And Malik Rose almost gets an opportunity with the three-point play.
Outside of this play, but watch his effort. He just out-muscles Juwan Howard that time, gets himself in the lane, and gets himself a chance at the free throw line. You're exactly right, though, Joe, when you talk about Nájera and Malik Rose. Same type of players. Malik is a more talented player than Nájera, but
they've turned it over now 10 times, almost their average for the games. Malik all over Nowitzki, forced it and gets it. So Nowitzki, who forced the issue and then stepped back, got the call from Don Baden.
Yeah, well, that time he had a plethora of fakes here, trying to get Malik Rose off balance. He backs him in a little up and under. He kept his pivot foot that time. Terry Porter was looking for a travel, but his left pivot foot stays down. Malik Rose crowds him, and that's where he makes his mistake. You have to give the offensive player his space. You can't come into his space and create the contact.
And the three-point play. Terry Porter free for three again. And a super look.
He didn't have that ball in his hands when he shot it.
Nash inside the arc. In 8 points a game. Only Minnesota's that close at 75. David blowing the dunk after a good one. And Steve Smith didn't think he had the angle. And Nash almost burns him. Finley back onto the floor, finding Juwan Howard for the easy one. It looked like Steve Smith may have been able to get to it.
Yeah, he was kind of backpedaling when the ball came off the rim. He didn't feel like he had the angle on that rebound. And Dallas able to run it down perfectly that time by the Admiral. So he had no choice but to foul.
And David gets the roll free throw line. They've got 10 field goals. And David again. Soft touch. Spurs down by only 6. Two-man game. Nash finding Nash-Meyer. And he was lucky. He was up in the air.
Penetration.
Now the mismatch as it's thrown away, but a hold on Steve Nash. Michael Finley trying to appeal it.
He's a guy that I've seen when I went to Pete Newell's camp. That's not a good doghouse to be in.
And you can sit there for a long time.
And what I've seen of him, I would expect him to work and get out of that.
Again, Nash-Meyer on the nice penetration, the block by Tim Duncan. David was available momentarily. Steve Smith forcing the issue.
Right over the top.
Well, Finley was trying to do that every time he could. Nash walked with it, got away with it, stayed with it, and David will tap it out to Tony Parker. 3-on-2. Trailer, Steve Smith spotting up. Yes! Just like that. Put it back up. Nash, Parker all over him. What a job by Tony Parker, but Nájera wouldn't clear the play. And strong because Tim Duncan was also defending the paint. Nájera putting him up by 3. He's got 4. He's only taken 2 shots. David Robinson on his way to the free throw line.
And Nájera goes up and finishes with a dunk.
Local kid makes a super kid, super story.
He's more than made good. Does he have to follow him around? He's going to throw his body around. He's going to go to the glass, and he can play.
David Robinson getting the last foul. Juwan Howard with the basket with that extraordinary release.
No, but they're still very unorthodox.
So you talk about Bruins like that. Bruce Bowen doesn't get a break on the roll. Last touch by, they say, David Robinson. College Football Classic, New Year's Eve, 3 o'clock Eastern. Noon Pacific right here on Fox Sports Net. Nowitzki spinning away Steve Smith, and it was right in front of Courtney Kirkland, Dirk Nowitzki. Last season, 3rd-team All-NBA, first Maverick to gain that distinction ever. 1st, 2nd, or 3rd team.
This guy in 4 or 5 years has a chance to be an MVP candidate.
Yes.
Maybe sooner than that.
Rare miss at the free throw line. First miss of the night. And Nowitzki has taken all 5 of their free throws. While the Spurs are 22 of 23. Tim Duncan wanted it. David Robinson. And we've seen it regularly. David increasing his range. That's about 16, 17, almost 18 out.
Oh, his legs just look good.
Nash in his 6th year, played for the Broncos of Santa Clara. I thought your highs in scoring, bad assists, but already.
Those are pretty big numbers.
Tim Duncan finally with a touch, forcing his way home.
Abuse Nowitzki.
Or even a good Adam's apple, because an elbow's in that Adam's apple, or it works in a card game. Final minute. Tony Parker again.
Well, see, that time his arm is hooked around Nash a little bit. He's just trying to fight.
Going to call it on Hardaway either.
Of course not.
And they won't call it on Terry Porter. Terry Porter against Steve Nash, using Tim Duncan. Finley got him. Terry makes the most of it.
It's not going to be happy times in the locker room at halftime.
And the Spurs have the lead.
Nash thinks he's going to play with the ball in front of Bruce Bowen. He's got to rub him off.
Setting up Nowitzki. Nash with a great look. Plenty of time for the Spurs to get a good look of their own. Steve Smith bombing away. And Nowitzki should be able to get it off in time, but he lost the handle. Miller Lite halftime number 60% for Dallas. The big number standing out for the Spurs. Free throws. They got there early, often, and they made the most of it.
Look at these free throws here. San Antonio, 24 for 25 from the free throw line. Dallas not that bad. They're not getting to the free throw line, but 24 for 25. That's an amazing percentage. He knows what Michael Finley is made of.
Good ball movement, bringing up Finley, and it's a foul on Bruce Bowen.
Saying he has the date circled on his calendar. And Finley, the starters account for more scoring percentage-wise as it goes in for Tim Duncan, setting up Bruce Bowen. And before Juwan Howard can get over, it's all even at 61. David coming over on the double, so somebody else is available. And Danny Manning got it to go. Mavs by 2. Second chance, Danny Manning makes the most of it. LA 5 in Phoenix, the last 2 with Milwaukee and Utah. Now the Spurs can't hang on downstairs as they turn it over for the 9th time. Tough angle for that pass. Can't try to enter it into the post if you're not on the wing.
So a real slow start for the Spurs offensively. Just Bowen's three-pointer. Movement for Finley. And again, he puts it to the floor before he shoots it. He doesn't want a spot shot. This up against Michael Finley. Now, shot clock down. Bowen has to. Not what the Spurs wanted. Nash had it poked away.
Didn't know really what to do with it at the top of the key, and Bruce Bowen gets a shot that he doesn't particularly like.
Break for Nash. Dribbled it off his foot. Danny Manning. Robinson with the board. David's got 7 at 5. Parker the distance. Will they get the roll? No, but Tim Duncan's there to clean up.
And I think sometimes the referees confuse that play.
Manning again with the hot hand. It continues. He's got 11. Manning. Terry Porter feeding Finley, setting up Tim Duncan. They'll go to the line to shoot 2. Nowitzki with the foul.
Here it is. Terry Porter gets open in the corner. Finley has to overcompensate on Terry Porter's drive. Nowitzki comes in to help, and that frees up Tim Duncan. So you have to do your work early on defense. You can't lollygag and then try to finish up at the end.
2 more free throws for Tim Duncan, as Tim is 9 of 9 at the stripe. 9 of his 19 have come at the free throw line. He's also got 5 boards and 3 assists. Nash setting up Howard. Blocked from behind by David Robinson. Great recovery by the Admiral. Otherwise an easy deuce after the penetration. Terry Porter trying to make it the distance. David will finish.
Getting it done at both ends of the floor. Blocking shots, then finishing up that offensive rebound.
Nash the distance. Duncan wants to set up. Nowitzki doing a good job defensively to move his feet in front of it. Bowen again for 3. And Bruce Bowen showing a soft touch.
And shoot that shot in the corner. If he has time to look at it, he can make that shot.
Juwan Howard and Steve Smith held up by Steve Nash against the Bucks in 12 fewer tries. 2-point ball game. Tim Duncan, nifty move around Dirk Nowitzki.
A guy of Tim Duncan's caliber, you're not going to win too many ball games.
Now mismatch. Terry Porter trying to keep up with Michael Finley and doing a good job staying all over Finley.
Terry Porter made Finley double pump that time.
Trying to get it inside. He does. David's there. Spurs take the lead for the first time. Spurs own 11 of the last 13 points scored in this game over the last 2.5 minutes. Manning off the pick and roll. Nájera had it taken away, and they'll call a reach from behind.
The middle of the third, and the Spurs are starting to feed off.
Leaving him in late in games, because if he gets to the line, he's been shooting it better. The stroke has been better. Tim wanted to go high-low. How about out high? Bruce Bowen. And Finley, after a seal inside on David Robinson, takes it away.
I'd like to see Bowen do what I would do on that play. Yeah, and this is turning into a big-time rivalry. You know, the Mavs, this team believes they can beat the San Antonio Spurs.
And let's face it, Briggs,
well,
Tim Duncan wanted it.
You used to laugh when you saw Dallas on your schedule. Now you cry.
Jim working against Nowitzki. Drop stepping partner. Off the window. Nash almost walked with the basketball before he got rid of it. Shot clock winding down. Smith tried to take it away. Hardaway bombing away. And Hardaway.
Nowitzki needs some help down there.
Now can you get a fifth foul as Bowen tries for another three. Tim, second chance opportunity. Right back to David Robinson. And he's shoved. Able to go to the line by Dirk Nowitzki. So
the free throw shooting has kept the Spurs in this game.
Without a doubt. 41% collectively at this drive. Don't want to jinx it, but they've only missed one in 29 attempts.
It's too deep underneath the basket that time. The play was to lay it up.
And Bowen getting back. Sets up Terry Porter. Look out, Michael Finley. And he goes to protect the basketball on the opposite side. And 3 assists. Hardaway, the finger roll.
From in the fourth quarter is getting stagnant, putting the ball in Tim's hands every time down the floor, and everybody standing and watching.
Tim Duncan, as Nowitzki fell off it, was trying to pick up a charge, didn't get the call.
Not very good, is what I was meant to say.
Hardaway's got a crease. David Robinson with a reach. So Hardaway can tie it.
What surprised me about Tim Hardaway and tonight, he's just a little off.
He's tied it up. 5-time All-Star.
Yeah, but he's a hard-nosed guy, and he's a guy who wants to win. So he's going to make that adjustment.
Spurs running out of time on the shot clock. Tim will have to go with it against Nowitzki. The drop step. And the loose ball. Nájera pulls it away.
Well, I thought he was going to make toast out of Nowitzki.
Tim Duncan had it batted away by Nájera. Or make it Wong Juju and Nájera down low. And Finley makes the most of it. Terry Porter inside, blocked away by Wong Juju. The transition. And Finley can pull it out. They can play for the final shot of the quarter, but the Spurs went to sleep. Totally went to sleep. Winners receive 4 tickets to a Spurs game. Warm up with the team during pregame. Tim Duncan, the clock winds down. And a tough break on a shot he normally makes. And Steve Smith got it away. That was a battle with Nowitzki down low. On the move, Antonio Daniels, the finger roll, and he's clipped by Wong Juju.
A ton of weapons. Well, the Spurs have gotten to the stripe a ton here. He's not finished yet.
Finley. Nowitzki very quiet lately. We had a break for the Spurs. He hasn't had that many touches to the offensive end. He's had to work so hard at the defensive end, matching up with Tim Duncan.
Takes his legs away. He has to go down and battle in the post every time.
The clear out. Can Tim tie it up? Yes. Nowitzki averaging 22 a game, has 15 so far. Finley, a lot of dribbling, but Nowitzki available now. Give Dirk Nowitzki 18 points. On the Nowitzki three-pointer. Parker back into the game. Charles Smith wheeling right around. Nájera elevating. Nash trying to get a 5th foul on Tony Parker. And Tim Duncan boxing out. Tony Parker on the pick and roll game. Now the mismatch inside if he can get it to Tim Duncan. Tough to go over the top. Instead, Malik Rose. Wong Juju got it, but Tim Duncan comes up with it.
Pay attention to detail. You have to finish off your defense. 3rd
foul on Tim Duncan. They got a mismatch. Nowitzki up against Tony Parker. Tim coming over, up and under. Nowitzki rolled it home. That's a backyard playground play.
Yeah, and he beats a double team that time.
Tony Parker free. And Tim Duncan on a loose ball foul. You can see it from our camera up top of the basket.
Yeah, well, he's caught in a tough situation here. He's given up almost a foot.
Nowitzki drawing the foul. Parker's gone. Nowitzki going to the line looking for the 3-point play to put the Mavericks up by 4.
Help defense has got to get there much sooner.
So Tony Parker is fouled out for the first time in his career. Dirk Nowitzki converts on the 3-point play.
Well, not only that, but it speaks volumes about their team. When the Spurs have made runs at them, they haven't collapsed.
Malik Rose finds the crease, strong to the rack. And now Finley.
He was expecting the contact.
Hardaway. Nowitzki moving without it, drawing the foul on Charles Smith. gets the three-point play.
Yeah, got stitched up with, or patched up with a butterfly bandage, so he's available to return.
Tim Duncan with a good look. Got Nowitzki into the air. Gets the opportunity for the three-point play. Nice over-the-top pass by Charles Smith.
Gets the ball, takes his time, and powers it up for the three-point play.
He's got it, and the Spurs are down by only 2. Weak side help. Finley doesn't want it. Man, good reason why. He wasn't taking it inside.
Yeah, you have to get the ball out of his hands. Dirk has to be careful here.
He's got 4 already. Tim Duncan does it again, almost behind the glass. What a night for Tim from the field, 12 of 19. Smith almost went for the steal. Finley has the edge again. Michael Finley doing it again.
Yeah, with under 5 minutes in this game and you're up by 4, you can't afford to make that pass.
Was set for Duncan. The clear out for TD. Against Nowitzki, got the contact, gets it again. 5 on Nowitzki. Duncan to the line already with 36.
If you're in that situation and you're a Mavs player, step up. You have to make somebody else beat you. Tim Duncan will beat you.
Tim's another complete night for a guy that looks like an MVP. Charles Smith getting help from Tim Duncan in the trap in the corner. Nash free for 3. Look out. You gamble.
You can't hold that trap in the corner.
Huge possession for the Spurs. Duncan over Manning as he's hit on the wrist.
Down at the ball, they get their hands caught on his forearms, and he gets three-point plays continually.
Inside of 3.5. The crowd coming to its feet in the dome. And a foul on the entry to Dirk Nowitzki. The foul on Malik Rose. 2-point lead on the free throw by Nash.
Well, here it is. Nowitzki's the guy, obviously, to get the ball. Nash trying to set a screen there, and Malik simply trying to fight through that.
Now, Juwan Howard back into the game. They want to find Tim Duncan to work on Howard. Flare out. Only 6 on the shot clock, though. Working past Howard. Duncan does it again. They let him go to his strong side. Now, do the Spurs come up with a stop? Finley with Bowen all over him. Shot clock winding down. Getting ready for his step back. Bowen blocked it, and a foul is called.
It's a huge game for both teams. The Spurs coming off a loss to Milwaukee, and Dallas thinking that, you know, they have a situation here. They have a chance to come in here, win in this building, and really make a statement.
What a player. What a foundation they have with Finley and Nowitzki. Clutch play at the stripe. 3-point ball game. And now we've got a foul away from the ball. Does he get the roll? No. So it paid off. Spurs only got 1 on that trip. Inside of 2.5 to play.
I was in a game where Nelson did the same thing to Larry Smith.
And it's going to happen until Bruce Bowen gets it up to 60-70%. It's at 42%. Nash over Terry Porter after the crossover.
Can't double Nash at the top of the key. You just have to take your chances.
And now they're fouling Bruce Bowen again.
Yeah, and there's several things that are going on here. First off, is Bowen doesn't make his free throws. Finley free to isolate against whoever Pop brings off the bench.
1 of 2 again. Now, if you're the Spurs, you think about situational substitutions when you can. Get Bowen out of the game. As Nash penetrates, and a beautiful play, almost like a backhand. Tim Duncan asking for it against Juwan Howard. Blowing by Howard with the right hand. Got the roll. 19 of his 44 coming here in the 4th. Spurs got to have a stop, though. Nash and a break. Howard in the middle of the paint.
Oh, to sleep.
Now, not so automatic for this young man, Juwan Howard. And comes through. Veteran Juwan Howard makes it a 5-point bulge again. The trap coming. Spurs don't need a 3. They need to get it inside. Bowen running, has the layup. Tim Duncan with a little give and go, and it didn't take long that possession to make it a 3-point game. Spurs only had it about 10 seconds.
And Tim doing the right thing that time, giving it up to a guy cutting to the basket in crunch time.
Calling for a clear out. Now the mismatch. They've got Nowitzki if they can find him. And it's poked away, almost taken away. Hardaway, shot clock down, look out. Juwan Howard comes away with it, and he cleared out. There should have been a loose ball foul. Will the Spurs get it?
And he gets a little break. The ball comes to him, but that time he worked for that rebound.
And 3 of 3. And hitting 4 in a row.
A la Minnesota fat.
Almost a backhand.
Off the glass, yes.
Just like the
play.
backhand, instead of going to the left hand, spinning it off the right hand. And here come the Spurs. Steve Smith setting up Tim Duncan right away. They have to be in a hurry. Howard with the foul. Tim doesn't get the roll. They needed it big time. 55% from the field. And Tim, like everything else, gets it done.
And get the ball back and hope that you can get 2 possessions.
Does it again. Matches his career best at 46 points. So the Spurs, they go for the stop. And then they'll need 3, trailing by 116-113.
Well, this is the right thing to do. You have to hope your guys can hold them down.
Nash got away. Terry Porter poked it away. And Malik Rose almost double dribbled. Terry Porter, Spurs need 3. Who's going to go? 8 left. Porter for the tie. Yes! It's all even!
Finley, Nash, or Nowitzki beat you.
I don't know about you, but I would absolutely love to work overtime. Wouldn't charge extra either. Now, can they get it in? Yes, Nash. Final 5. Off the pick by Nowitzki. Nash, defended by Rose. We get overtime! 21 and 12 minutes in the 4th. Porter trying to keep up with Nash. And Steve Nash, a little head and shoulder fake. Has 5. They don't want Nowitzki on Tim Duncan. He could be gone in overtime very early. Shot clock down on Steve Smith. Tim's got to do it. Tough break. Finley, or make it Malik Rose. And the takeaway, no, almost. Hardaway in the corner. A deep shot that wasn't a 3. A break for the Spurs. Tim Duncan looking for the seal down low on Juwan Howard. Good position to post up. Gets inside on the fall away. Tim Duncan's got a new career high. 48 points for TD.
He's going to kill you. He's going to beat you, Nelly, if you leave him to get easy jumpers in the lane.
Now, will it Daniels get help against Finley? And Finley walked with it. Huge turnover. What a monster break for the Spurs. You can see back to back. Will Duncan do it? You know where they want to go. Howard's all over him. The clear out for Tim Duncan. Right by Juwan Howard. The finger roll. It's all even. Terry Porter trying to front him. Nash on the penetration, maybe. Shot clock down. Steve Nash in trouble. And that's a great stop. He won't get it off in time. What a job.
Oh, he's going to break it this time down the floor.
Nowitzki trying to front him out of the play. Doesn't make any difference. Tim Duncan again inside. Count it! He'll go to the line looking for the 3-point play.
Nobody from Dallas stepping up. This time, a little fake. Nice little jump hook. 52 going to the line for 53. And if they don't double team him or something, he's going to have 55 next time down the floor.
Spurs with their first lead of overtime.
And you're giving him opportunity after opportunity. Make somebody else make a shot in a pressure situation.
Down to the final 60 seconds of overtime.
Tim is going to have 55 next time down the floor.
Nowitzki in the mismatch with Terry Porter. Terry picked his pocket. What a job by Terry Porter again.
He's got to hold it up here, take his time, get it into the man for number 55.
Tim Duncan has got to touch it again against Nowitzki. Plenty of time on the shot clock. Off the window. Flat that time, and Howard's got the rebound.
Yeah, a little flat shot that time. Trying to look for the glass.
Hardaway for the tie. Unbelievable. You knew what he wanted to do. You could see it coming.
You have got to be kidding me. That was from 40 feet.
Spurs will call timeout.
You're right. It's the makings for a classic rivalry.
Now, on the inbound series, Tim Duncan asking for it early. Nowitzki had fronted him initially. And look at Nowitzki as it's thrown away by Malik Rose. Nowitzki fouled by Rose as he threw it away. So now the chance to win. The final shot of overtime. Steve Nash, Tim Hardaway in the backcourt. Finley, Nowitzki, and Howard out there for the Mavericks. Got to believe it's going to be Michael Finley's turn.
Bruce Bowen has a monumental task, but he's somebody who's up
It'll
to
be
it.
Nash instead, and he gets it done. Three-pointer with 0.6 of a second to play. If Finley wasn't available, it was going to be Nash, and Nash got the job done. Here we go.
Plays for Terry Porter here.
It is Porter at the buzzer. That'll do it. That's what you have to do, though, with 0.6 of a second. You have to get rid of it in a hurry. So the difference, Steve Nash and Tim Hardaway, back-to-back threes after the Spurs led 123 to 120. That's our final, 126-123 in overtime.